I wasn't here yesterday. How do you know? Because I didn't upload my video. I must have skipped a day. Oh my God, I must have went to heaven and just came back one day later. Sorry, man, the big old spaceship picked me up. What do we want to talk about? Well, I heard a gentleman. I was walking down the road last night, and I bumped into a gentleman, and he looks at me, and I looked at him, and I go, cheers, buddy. He goes, yeah, and he turns around, and he looks, and he sees the Sears, S-E-A-R-S, a building that was evacuated 3 years ago, and he looks at it, he goes, it's a good place for a jail. A good place to accumulate the people. We'll put a fence around it and bring all those people with Ebola in here, and we'll have a place for a jail. In all the Sears stores that weren't used, where are these Sears stores? Not only that, have you ever seen this before? ISIS. This is what it designs. Okay, and I'm not finished yet. You see in here it says Lamed, and an I, it says Il, the island of ISIS, 1515. 2 circles, 888. Do you see what happens in here? This moves away because this is an image. It's an after image of what happens if you write on top. It's actually 2 zeros over each other with this. Hammer, sickle, metal, and building iron rods. 666, 888, because the opposite of 6, 4, and 2 in the 7 world is 3 and 5, 8, and it shows it on the dice. The same time, there's this girl in California that was being brought to a psychiatric ward because she says there's a chip in your head. We all have a chip off the old block because inside our DNA is a fibrillator. I think that's in our heart. Wherever it is, it reads. It reads who you are. In order to be living today, you need your thyroid glands, you need whatever you have in your organs to read to keep the body alive. So when someone says they think there's something in them, there is something in you. There is something in you. How am I thinking if there was nothing in me? Who do I become? So when they tell you there's nothing in you, start thinking straight. Then how do you become alive? What is alive? Do you know what this is? This is the reality of life. 1, 3, 7, and 9. 1, 3, 7, and 9. Your reality. But when you turn a card in the deck of cards upside down, the reality changes. But the reality does not change in the picture cards. They're exactly alike. But in these cards, they change. We're going to take out a card 3 and 6. They go on each side of each other. They create 9. If I take an 8 out and a 6, it only creates 6 and 2. Do you see the way they're upside down in the 8 card? The reality is 2 up, 4 down. 1 up, 1 down, 1 and 1. 4 up, 1 in the center down, 2 down. Here's your 3. Here's your 3, but it's 2 and 1. Here's your 3, it's 2 and 1. Here's a real 3. Here's 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Where am I going to take this next? We're going to go back to here. Because if you look at your keyboard, right, the number 5, in between the number 5 and any other number, is 5 points up to 2, 5 points down to 8, right? But that's not true because this number here is 3. This number here, which 2 is over here and 5 is over here, is 3.5. Between here and here is 8, right? I mean, is 6.5 over here. 1.5. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Between 3 and 6 is 4.5. But the reality of the number is 4 is over here. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 6.5. Surrounding the 5. 3, 4, 7, 6 is the size of the moon. Gold. Gun. 3, 5, 7. Gun. 3, 21. 2 and 1, 3. U is what I'm talking about. G is 7. N is 5. 3, 5, 7. 57, 75, because this world goes inside this world. This world exists in this world exists inside of this world, and this world exists inside of this world. But not this. The only thing that exists in this is the heart of 3, which fits into 5, and creates this world, and this world to come alive. So the triangle that you would see would cross this corner and come down here. We would be playing the bottom half. The top half would be the cycle of emotion coming from the spirit world. The same thing with over here. This is what it designs. What a cow says, the cow says moose. What does mo in French mean? It means my. My key, monkey. Monkey see, monkey in the sea, and the monkey in the dew. The worms, the sperm, you have do, re, mi, but this you have do. Why is this do and this is not, this is do? When you spread the dough and the dough is money, what do you do for ski-doo? Do should be like this, but why when we write, we say do, re, mi, we don't write it like this, she writes it like this. And you're telling me some of the people are crazy on this earth after what you have taught them? You're telling the public, the scientists, the psychiatric people who don't even look what's happening in the language. They don't look what happened when you were 5 years old. They look at 5 years old when you were at home. But what happened in school? What were you taught in school? What did we see on advertising and television that woke us up to envision something else of the first thing we thought when we heard it? Coming back to the E world, E, 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 and E, you see 44, the letter M, everything is divided in the center. Things are built and put together. I am not human of any sort. I am pieces and parts that put me completely together, that make me human. If I'm missing a limb, as long as I have this, I'm human. But if I don't speak right, you say I'm not human. I'm thinking different. The opportunist in life thinks the opposite of everybody else, but acts the same. Creation is an act of thought. If we do not have the thoughts, we'll be all the same. There'll be nothing more tomorrow than there is today. If I don't like him, I'll never like him because I cannot adjust. The thought adjuster. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Do you think they have not been playing us for hundreds of years because they know a truth that we don't know? Whatever's going on in the world right now is not from today, and it's not from 10 years ago. It's from the last few hundred years. Now, why would anybody say, what do you mean the last few hundred years? We're only going to live 60, 70 years. Bull. Your spirit lives on in the actions of the others from the past, meaning going on to the future, and I still believe there's a spirit world, and I believe there's a God out there, and even if God has bestowed in me to choose of the righteous, to understand the difference, and to do what is good for the others around me, to continue on in life, what do I want the same forever? Peace and reality that we are not living. And if you can say different, tell me so I can learn from you and I can readjust to see the difference so that I can learn even more from you. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. What do I think about the war around the world? I think we're causing it. I'm more petrified of my own state, of my own country, of my own area, of my own people, of my sisters and my brothers, than I am from anybody in the Middle East. Because for me, if you ever take a look at the Turkish map, Turkey is the hat of the graduate. The robe stands in Saudi Arabia. Do you think Saudi Arabia is Saudi Arabia because of the Arabians? Is that what you think? How about this? Let's put in a new story. I'm going to have a child. In fact, I'm going to have 10 wives. I'm going to have 10 kids in 1 year. In 200 years, I have 50,000, 500,000, 5 million, 25 million, 30 million kids, all from one family who had a vision. Everybody becomes me, but I'm Jewish. Now all the Arabians become Jewish. But they start this new cult of what they want the world to see. They owned the oil before, and they started this on purpose and created all that they did. Because you will see, and you will look back at these videos, not only mine and thousands of them, saying, why did we use oil when there were so many more alternatives? Oh, but it's hard to get to the pumps. No, they make it difficult for you to get to the pumps. They put the perception in your mind and saying, oh, I can't get to the pumps because I'm driving thousands of miles from my house and they haven't set up the same system. So let's go with the easy system, and that's oil. And it has you all sliding, looking dark, right? Looking dark into everything. The reality shift, and it's coming. now. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. You're welcome.